Right now, an invisible war is happening inside your body, and it's the only reason you're still alive. Every second of every day, you face a barrage of adversaries: viruses, bacteria, fungi, and even your own mutating cells. This defense network operates as a diffuse military force spread across the entire human anatomy. Its sole directive is to distinguish self from non-self and eliminate any foreign invaders. To see how this defense matrix operates, watch what happens when a physical barrier is breached. Imagine someone steps on a rusty nail, violently tearing open deep tissue and depositing a swarm of multiplying bacteria. That single breach instantly triggers a biological response that determines whether you survive the week. The moment the skin is broken, the innate immune system takes over. Damaged tissue cells immediately release chemical distress signals called cytokines and chemokines, acting like biological flares. Resident macrophages, large amoeba-like white blood cells, sense these chemicals and begin devouring the bacteria through a process called phagocytosis. They are quickly joined by fierce, short-lived cells called neutrophils. This chart shows the massive metabolic cost of maintaining this rapid response force. Your bone marrow produces roughly 100 billion new neutrophils every single day, just to hold the line against everyday breaches. But brute physical force isn't always enough. As the battle rages, specialized dendritic cells act as intelligence gatherers, swallowing bacteria and tearing them into microscopic fragments. They display these fragments on their outer surface, using specialized MHC proteins. The dendritic cell then leaves the battlefield, traveling through the lymphatic system to the nearest lymph node. The innate system uses generic, blunt force to buy time, but surviving a severe infection relies on delivering this exact intelligence to the highly specialized adaptive system. Inside the lymph node, the dendritic cell presents the bacterial fragment to billions of dormant helper T cells. It searches until it finds the one specific cell whose receptor perfectly matches the invader's chemical ID. Once activated, that single T cell clones itself millions of times, launching a two-pronged counterattack. The first is a cell-mediated response, led by cytotoxic or killer T cells. These cells hunt down infected human tissue, locking on and forcing them to undergo apoptosis, programmed cell death, depriving the pathogen of a place to replicate. Simultaneously, the humoral attack begins. Helper T cells activate B cells, which differentiate into plasma cells that operate as microscopic weapons factories. Looking at this data, we can see the extraordinary scale of this response. A single plasma cell can pump out approximately 2,000 antibodies every second. Millions of these antibodies flood the bloodstream and lock onto the bacteria, neutralizing their movement and tagging them for easy destruction by roaming macrophages. The infection is crushed by an overwhelming, mathematically precise biological force that operates entirely without your conscious input. Once the threat is cleared, most of the responding immune cells undergo apoptosis to prevent unnecessary tissue damage. However, a small fraction remain as memory T and B cells, granting you lifelong immunity to that specific bacterial strain. This cellular memory is the foundation of modern medicine. In the late 19th century, scientists like Louis Pasteur realized they could artificially trigger this process using weakened pathogens, creating the first vaccines. Leveraging this mechanism on a global scale led to one of our greatest public health achievements. By 1980, smallpox, a disease that had killed an estimated 300 million people in the 20th century alone, was declared entirely eradicated. But this system has catastrophic vulnerabilities. When tolerance mechanisms fail, the body attacks its own healthy tissue, resulting in autoimmune diseases like type 1 diabetes or multiple sclerosis. In other cases, it overreacts to harmless environmental proteins, causing severe allergies. Pathogens have also evolved to exploit this architecture. The HIV virus is exceptionally devastating because it bypasses the outer defenses and directly targets the helper T cells, the central command centers of the entire immune response. Your biology is a razor-thin balancing act. Its precision keeps you alive, but its errors result in some of humanity's most difficult medical challenges. Modern immunology has moved into the realm of molecular engineering.
Scientists are now actively reprogramming the immune system's architecture, turning our own cells into precision tools to cure once unreachable diseases. With CAR T-cell therapy, doctors extract a patient's own T-cells, genetically engineer them in a lab to target specific cancer mutations, and infuse them back into the body to hunt the disease. At the molecular level, scientists like Catalin Carrico discovered how to modify nucleoside bases so that synthetic mRNA could enter human cells without triggering an inflammatory immune attack. This decades-long work enabled the rapid development and global deployment of the COVID-19 mRNA vaccines, saving millions of lives by delivering instructions directly to the adaptive immune system. The microscopic war inside you is the reason you survive today. Now it serves as the foundational code we are rewriting to cure the diseases of tomorrow.